Welcome back, HEX Tribe. In this video, I'm going to tell you about some really cool statistics that I dug into and found some pretty surprising results that are pretty bullish if you ask me. And I would really question if there's any other data that looks this good on any other coin in terms of real adoption metrics during the bear market. Now, this video is going to be very short and sweet and to the point. And by the end of the video, you're going to understand why HEX is adopting more in the bear market than debatably it even did in a large portion of the bull market. It's very cool, and it's also very, very simple. So this is very similar to one of my previous videos where I elaborate a little bit more. Click the link above if you want to watch that. But I just hopped over to the HEX price chart. We've all seen this price chart. You probably look at it every day, right? And I just figured, well, what if we can break this up and divide it in between just very simply bull market, bear market? How many new holders did we get during the bull and bear market? And how many new stakers did we get during the bull versus during the bear? Now, this should be a very simple way to use on-chain data, blockchain data that cannot be faked, to verifiably figure out if HEX is doing a good job in the bear market or not. But we also have to realize that the bull market itself lasted many more days than the bear market did. So in order to kind of fix that, I figured, okay, let's look at how long the current bear market has lasted. It's been 412 days since the top, meaning we could say that the bear market's lasted for 12 days. And now the number of days to the left of that is much, much higher than 412. So to be fair, let's not count some of those beginning days with the adoption amplifier and with a lot of other weird stuff going on, which I'll talk about in a minute. But let's only count just a mirror image of the 412 days before the top and compare that and say, that's relatively the same length of bull market that we're comparing to this current 412 days of bear market. So we're just taking a mirror image on either side of the top, from the top till today, and then mirror that from the top to 412 days before the top. Look right here, guys. That makes sense? And I'm trying to create a fair way of calculating how many people are getting in during the bull versus the bear and how many people are actually staking. So let's hop over to this chart. If you guys know from my last video, I'm using hexdailystats.com, a great reference point to download tons of awesome data, all on-chain metrics, verifiable, cannot be faked. You can't lie about this data, okay? So I imported it into an Excel spreadsheet, and it's really, really simple what I've done here, guys. The current holders from 412 days before the top, that was August 2nd, till the actual top, which was September 18th, okay? We went from 192 to 249K. That is an increase of 57,000 current holders, and we went from 15,000 stakers to 59,000 stakers. That's an increase of 43,000 stakers. Pay attention to these two numbers. So we got 57,000 new holders in that time and 43,000 new stakers in that 412 days before to and leading up to the top. And now, from the top to this current local low, not quite the bottom, obviously we just pumped a little bit, but the 412 days after the top till today's date, November 4th, 2022, we went from 249K holders to 312K holders, and we went from 59K stakers to 111K current stakers. This means that we added 62,000 current holders and 52,000 current stakers in what's officially the bear market. So this data right here is extremely bullish. And if you view the data through this frame, you can see that it's actually, we've onboarded more current holders in the 412-day bear market that we've had than we onboarded in the 412-day bull market that started on, August 2nd. And obviously I know it goes farther back than that, but we wanted to discount some of that data, and I'll tell you why in a minute, so stick around. But guys, 57,000, 62,000. 62,000 is bigger than 57,000, just like the 52,000 additional stakers that we added in the bear market is a lot more than the 43,000 stakers that we were adding in the bull market. This all seems incredibly bullish to me, guys. I mean, this is the definition of divergence. When you see the price going down, but the on-chain metrics of adoption going up, that means this coin is poised for massive success, in my opinion, especially when market conditions come back and we move to a risk-on environment. Now back over here, guys, I made a quick time series to see that I plotted the change in current holders metric over time. So each one of these days, I plotted on this chart the change in current holders metric to try to discount any, dusting. And dusting is when, one person or a bunch of bots just sent a little tiny bit of HEX to a whole bunch of holders. And so they're not really, legitimate holders, because you can get dusted with any coin you want, and technically you'll be a holder, right? But you might not even realize that this coin is sitting in your wallet. And you're not really a holder. You know what I mean? So we look at when some of this dusting happened, or some of this kind of funny business over here, but really the last big spike on here, the last big day where there was an abnormally large change in current holders that particular day was July 29th, 2020. And so with the 412 days that I'm counting before the top, that actually leads us to August 2nd. That's just after July 29th. So the timing kind of works out where just by picking this August 2nd date, we're actually cutting out all of these outliers over here on the left-hand side of this chart that might not be able to be considered, real holders. Because I'm sure there's thousands and thousands of people out there with just one hex sitting in their wallet, and they don't even know they have it, so they shouldn't be actually counted, right? And again, holders is one metric, but stakers is even more important as a metric because it means that a real human being had to go into their wallet and manually stake their hex and make a decision to actually delay their gratification. So to me, stakers are worth more as an adoption metric than holders, but we're still going to count both. And the crazy thing about all this is that in a bear market, we have got definitively more current holders and current stakers added in the previous 412 days after the top than we had in the 412 days before the top, leading up to the top. So remember guys, over here on the left, this was the bull market. Over here on the right, this is the bear market. And we're adding more people in the bear market, and more importantly, we're adding more stakers in the bear market. People are still believing and they're still buying HEX on the way down. They're dollar cost averaging and they're staking for the long term. And this data kind of irrefutably proves it, and it even negates the outliers that I just talked about. So what do you think about all that, guys? Do you think there's any other metrics, any other better way to try to gauge how well of a job HEX is doing at onboarding during a bull versus bear? Or is there maybe some other cool data analysis that I'm not thinking of here that you want me to explore? Here's one thing for you guys. I'll leave you with this question. So as a proportion, the current stakers ratio of stakers to holders in August 2nd, that early date, remember, stakers made up only 8% of holders, whereas on September 18th, the very top of the market, stakers made up 23% of the total holders. That's a 15% increase. That's pretty high. Now over here in the bear market, again, stakers made up 23% of the holders on September 18th on the top, but on today's date, they only make up 35%. Stakers only make up 35% of the holders on today's date. So this is a gain of 12 percentage points. So we gained 15 percentage points over here in the bull market and only 12 percentage points over here in the bear market when we're talking about stakers as a ratio of total holders. So what does that mean to you guys? Does that mean, in my opinion, my explanation for this is that because there's more options now with, for example, the Maxi Perpetuals, and a lot of people being able to buy those instead of staking HEX on chain, or maybe Hedron, people keeping liquid HEX or HSIs that may or may not be counted in this data. I believe that maybe derivative products are the reason for the slowing of the stakers as a proportion of the holders. But the total value cannot be overlooked, guys. The absolute value of 52K stakers being added during the bear versus only 43K stakers being added during the bull. I don't know what more you want in terms of data analysis on that one. That's pretty good when we're zooming in on these particular metrics. So just a little food for thought. What about these percentage point ratios? What do you think about those? And if you want to talk more in-depth strategy data analysis, guys, do check out my Patreon, link in the description below. I offer all kinds of exclusive benefits if you want to talk, strategy, just bounce ideas off each other, and even recommend content ideas for future videos that I do. But I wanted to share this with you guys. I thought it was interesting. As always, make sure you like and subscribe. Keep doing the fantastic job that you're all doing, onboarding people into HEX and staking HEX, and just, keep calm and HEX on.